Rejuvenating Spa Inc., or RSI. This presentation is going to be done by me, David, Claire, Emma, Vincent, Gordon, and Evan. The purpose of this report is to outline RSI strategic options. We're going to analyze these strategic options in comparison to the current situation, and then we're going to provide a recommendation on how RSI should proceed. Alright, so the vision is to provide exceptional client-centered spa services in an atmosphere that is relaxing, in a manner that is environmentally friendly and sustainable. The mission is to provide professional quality services while developing relationships with our clients, our community, and the environment. Key success factors: convenient location, up-to-date and unique services, they only use quality products, competitive pricing, and a good reputation. The internal environment scan. For this, we got the goals and stakeholder preferences, and there's only 10 shareholders, but only 3 are actively involved in the company, and there's some disagreement over company direction. The current competitive strategy. They lack overall strategy, but they focus on providing quality service, so that's one of their strong points. Financial analysis. They need to use ASPE. They're currently using CCA for depreciation, so we're going to adjust that. There's potential inventory write-down issues. We're going to have to consolidate the statements of RSI and Lavish. This means assets and liabilities have to be recorded at fair value, and intangible assets have to be booked. Currently, they have negative working capital. Debt-to-asset ratio is almost 70%, so that makes financing harder to obtain. But they are fairly liquid and they generate strong cash flow. The SWOT and pestle analysis will be discussed in the conclusion by Evan, and you can also pick them up in Appendix D and E. Thanks. I'm going to pass the presentation on to Claire now.
Thanks, David. So I'm going to talk about strategic option number 1, which is the consolidation of RSI and Lavish. We'll start with the pros. We feel that this option is in line with Sally's mandate to have the 2 spas under one administration. Next, we feel that because the 2 spas do have different vision and mission statements, that by combining them into a consolidated entity, this will create a cohesive strategy. We also feel that there will be cost savings to this option. Because they will be able to centralize the accounting and administrative functions, it will result in a reduction in wages. RSI will also be able to use Lavish's existing infrastructure for their website and social media. Cost savings there, not having to create their own. Next, as I alluded to, there will be a centralized structure. The centralized structure will make it easier for decision making and future growth. There will also be consolidated statements under ASPE that will be presented. These statements will make it easier for the entity to meet debt covenants in the future and potentially get future financing. Let's talk about the cons. We think there will be some cons with this option. So there has been indication that there will be manager pushback from the Lavish manager. She feels that the reservation systems may not gel, and this may cause some customer dissatisfaction and lead to loss of business. The Lavish has an employee bonus program. RSI would then have to implement an employee bonus program. The 2 programs would definitely want to be matching, or else they could cause some friction within the consolidated entity. The 2 RSI and Lavish do have different accounting policies, so that's going to lead to some difficulty with the consolidation. And then next, the 2 entities do have different client bases, so the clients may be confused as to where they sit in this after the consolidation happens. So let's look at the quantitative analysis. So net income on the income statement, we will see an increase from approximately $120,000 in 2014 to approximately $170,000 in 2015. So that'll be an increase year over year. On the balance sheet, we'll be seeing combined assets of about $2.3 million, including goodwill of almost $500,000 for the combined entity and liabilities of $1.6 million. So moving on to a qualitative analysis. So we need to look at if this fits with the vision statement. So RSI's vision is to be the most reputable spa provider for spa goers in Canada. We do feel that this consolidation would fit under that. Financing, there will be no financing costs incurred other than the regular cost of doing business, so that's great. And then other than having to comply with ASPE, there would be no financial reporting or tax issues for this option. So I'll pass it off to Vince.
Vince, and I will briefly talk about Rejuvenating Spa's second strategic option, which is to consider franchising. So some of the pros to franchising, first and foremost, is that it is in line with the company's mandate for growth, as well as franchising will make it easier and faster for the company to expand into new geographical locations, and in doing so will help them capture more market share. And lastly, franchising will open up an opportunity for the company to knowledge share through its various franchising owners with their own unique management skills and knowledge of the industry. The con side to that, however, is by having various franchises operating a little different than the other one, there's a chance of inconsistent quality between the franchises and the spa services they provide, which has the potential of hurting the company's brand. As well, Sally, the CEO, lacks experience and as a result may not be able to effectively manage such a large-scale expansion endeavor. And lastly, franchising is a costly project, and I will touch a little bit more on the costs related to the startup for this option later. So there isn't any significant financial reporting or tax issues related to this option, and so our quantitative assessment has been limited to a break-even analysis. And as you can see, in order for the company to break even in regards to all the startup costs associated with franchising, they're going to need to obtain a minimum of 8 franchisees. And after that, in order to break even in relation to the ongoing costs related to franchising, they're going to need to retain a minimum of 5 franchisees. And lastly, the financing needs required for this option is that roughly at the start, the company's going to need to develop operational manuals and training manuals, as well as marketing material for each franchise location, and that's going to cost combined roughly $250,000. And then moving on to the first year of activities, which includes updating the manuals for operation manuals and training manuals, improving marketing materials, and quality control costs and other administrative costs, it's going to cost them roughly $65,000. Now I'm going to pass it on to Emma.
The third strategic option is a partnership with FFL. This provides RSI with expansion opportunities as we will be able to open massage therapy centers in existing FFL locations. How does this align with the vision? Well, it allows us to expand both geographically and into new markets. The benefits to this partnership is that it's low-risk expansion because FFL will be covering some of the cost. In addition, we will gain access to new customers through FFL's existing customer base. We will improve employee retention through providing them with different opportunities, such as training new employees. And it will diversify our operations, which allows for financial stability. On the other hand, there is currently no brand promotion included in the agreement, which will need to be discussed before this goes any further. Second, we will be dependent on FFL's ability to remain open, and if they close, we will lose our investment. In addition, there could be additional expenses incurred, and although the directors think that it's an easy growth strategy, due diligence procedures will need to be performed over the information provided by FFL. We performed a profitability analysis over both the large and small centers, and we determined that we will earn approximately 3 times the initial investment of $50,000. But we do not know what additional costs may be uncovered through this process that FFL has not accurately presented at this time. In terms of financing, it requires $50,000 plus any unknown variables such as legal or admin that may arise. In terms of financial reporting and tax, there are income splitting capabilities if the massage therapy centers incur a loss. As well, there are incorporation benefits by the ability to sell shares in the company, as well as there are tax advantages as part of this. And it will reduce the liability of RSI and protect its assets. I will now pass it off to Gordon, who will discuss strategic option number 4.
Lastly, I'd like to discuss strategic option number 4, the acquisition of Pure Substances Incorporated. There are some benefits, but also several drawbacks that you need to be aware of. First off, the reduction of costs is a major benefit. By taking over another step in the value chain, a rejuvenating spa would be able to decrease costs overall. Additionally, by not only using but making the organic products used in the spa, you would be able to overall increase the brand of the company and therefore sales. There have also been several major customers that have been identified that could be gained for Pure, which would increase their bottom line. Lastly, this is also an opportunity to promote social and environmental responsibility by taking over organic production. However, the drawbacks also need to be identified. There's no manufacturing experience within Rejuvenating Spa currently. This means that if efficiencies cannot be maintained, costs within Pure may in fact rise, which would make this acquisition potentially not worthwhile. Additionally, more competition has driven prices down in the market overall, and in fact costs have also risen over the past several years, which is further lowering Pure's net income. Lastly, there is an ethical issue as well. This is because the current owner of Pure wishes to keep production on PEI, but the real profits can be found by producing outside of the province. So this could be a potential ethical dilemma. Secondly, I'd like to draw attention to the vision and mission fit. This does match the mission to serve customers in an environmentally friendly manner by producing and keeping control of production to ensure that production is organic and of the least impact to the environment possible. However, this is not in line with Rejuvenating Spa's mission to provide exceptional spa and therapy services to their clients. This is because with no manufacturing experience, the product quality cannot be guaranteed at this point. Lastly, we also did a quantitative analysis of this potential option. We noticed that revenue has been steadily decreasing over the past several years, and in fact, cost of goods sold has also been rising over about 30% over the past 5 years. This is a huge change and could indicate the potential non-viability of Pure Substances. Additionally, there has been a drastic decrease in cash between 2013 and 2014, which is another indicator that Pure Substances may not be in a good financial position currently and may not be a wise investment. Finally, I'd like to pass this on to Ev, who will discuss our recommendations and the implementation of those recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. We have concluded and ranked the 4 strategic options based on the following criteria. Number 1 meets vision and mission. Number 2 improves brand recognition. Number 3 meets growth market. Number 4 meets constraints and targets. And number 5, resources. We recommend to consolidate RSI and Lavish into one entity, but keep 2 operations such as 2 brand names and spa styles, but join all administrative and support functions. Number 2, pursuing partnership with FFL will increase exposure, brand awareness, and will be highly profitable. That could fund future expansions and reduce the debt caused by franchising. It will also help RSI's goal of improving employee retention rate. Number 3, wait a year and then consider franchising out RSI's brand on its own, depending on the success of FFL partnership. RSI lacks the time and resources to ensure the success of a franchise. This also allow RSI gain the knowledge and experience from operating MTC to determine if RSI is capable of franchising. The first 3 recommendations will achieve growth and profitability that shareholders seek. We do not recommend to acquire Pure Substances because it is not profitable at the beginning and is too risky. Implementation. Consolidate immediately, which will require corporate structure changes for consolidation of support functions. This will save costs and improve future financing. Number 2, partnership immediately, which will require standardized employee bonus schemes between RSI and Lavish to keep good employees' relationships, which is a key success factor for the industry that result in increased customer satisfaction provided by staff. Number 3, delay franchising by a year since RSI doesn't have the required resources. Financing. There are currently 2 options, one with a bank and a private lender, Blair Cummings. Bank has funding available of $15 million, but RSI does not meet the bank covenants. We recommend acquiring funds from Blair Cummings if his terms can be met. It will result in paying a higher interest rate than the bank, but shareholders will receive dividends. Since the debt is convertible to equity, RSI could leverage Blair's financing background. Operation is new vision is to become the reputable leading spa for Canadian spa goers by growing RSI's brand geographically. New mission is to provide exceptional client-centered spa and therapy services to enthuse clients in an atmosphere that is relaxing in a manner that is environmentally friendly and sustainable. We recommend RSI to adapt ASPE for accounting, which is required by the bank to obtain external funding requirements. Also, retrospective adjustments are required for prior financial statements. Governance. The current board lacks an individual with a strong financial background that can give guidance on accounting matters. We recommend that you offer Blair Cummings an opportunity to become part of the board by converting his debt into equity to gain financial expertise on the board. Conclusion. Based on the major current business opportunities, we recommend consulting with Lavish Spa, pursue a partnership with Forevermore Fit Limited, and franchise out our size brand. Overall, this will meet the board's goals and our site will continue to grow. Thank you for your time, and are there any questions?